Now, strengthening winds and bone-dry conditions hindering firefighters working to gain control of a wildfire in a forested stretch along the New York-New Jersey state border. The Jennings Creek fire has torched some 2,000 hectares of brush and thick woodland and killed a state park employee. The New Jersey Forest Fire Service says the blaze, which started late last week, is 30% contained. The cause of the fire has yet to be determined. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump returns to the White House for the first time since winning the presidential election. He sat down for talks with longtime political rival, outgoing President Joe Biden, who promises a smooth transition of power.
Mr. President-elect and former President, thank you, Donald, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And looking forward to having a, like we said, smooth transition. Do everything we can to make sure you're accommodated, what you need. And we're going to get a chance to talk about some of that today. So,
good.
Welcome.
Their meeting at the Oval Office was a sharp contrast to the criticism the two men have hurled at each other for years. Biden has called Trump a threat to democracy, while Trump has portrayed Biden as an incompetent leader.
Thank you very much. And politics is tough, and it's in many cases not a very nice world, but it is a nice world today, and I appreciate it very much. A transition that's so smooth, it'll be as smooth as it can get, and I very much appreciate that, Jim.
Trump is set to take office on January 20. Trump makes more unconventional choices for his cabinet. He has picked a former Democratic Representative, Tulsi Gabbard, as his Director of National Intelligence. Gabbard left the Democratic Party in 2022 to become an independent and became increasingly critical of the Biden administration, gaining her popularity among conservatives. She has little direct experience with intelligence work and had not been widely expected to be tapped for the post. Meanwhile, Trump has named firebrand Republican Representative Matt Gaetz as his nominee for Attorney General. In a statement, Trump says Gaetz will end a weaponized government, protect U.S. borders, dismantle criminal organizations, and restore faith and confidence in the Justice Department. If confirmed, Gaetz will lead the organization that spent years looking into allegations of sexual misconduct against the Florida lawmaker. Trump makes more unconventional choices for his cabinet. He has picked a former Democratic Representative, Tulsi Gabbard, as his Director of National Intelligence. Gabbard left the Democratic Party in 2022 to become an independent and became increasingly critical of the Biden administration, gaining her popularity among conservatives. She has little direct experience with intelligence work and had not been widely expected to be tapped for the post. Meanwhile, Trump has named firebrand Republican Representative Matt Gaetz as his nominee for Attorney General. In a statement, Trump says Gaetz will end a weaponized government, protect U.S. borders, dismantle criminal organizations, and restore faith and confidence in the Justice Department. If confirmed, Gaetz will lead the organization that spent years looking into allegations of sexual misconduct against the Florida lawmaker. Now let's find out what stories our North America Bureau is pursuing right now from our correspondent, Henny Espinosa.
Hey guys, here are news making headlines for Filipinos in North America. Senate Republicans on Wednesday elected 63-year-old John Thune to lead the chamber next year, disregarding a public pressure campaign by Trump supporters to pick a loyalist to the president-elect and instead choosing an even-tempered institutionalist and seasoned legislator. The South Dakota senator's victory is a sign the Senate could retain some degree of independence from Trump next year. Republicans will hold at least 52 seats in the 100-seat Senate and are on track to retain their majority in the House of Representatives, where several races have yet to be decided. At a news conference on Wednesday, Thune said he would aim to confirm Trump's nominees quickly and work to help him cut spending and bolster border security. Thune will succeed 82-year-old Mitch McConnell, the longest-serving party leader in Senate history. He was first elected to the Senate in 2004.
It's a new day in the United States Senate, and it's a new day in America. The American people have loudly rejected the failed policies of the Biden, Harris, Schumer agenda. And this Republican team is united. We are on one team. We are excited to reclaim the majority and to get to work with our colleagues in the House to enact President Trump's agenda.
But we are standing on a sidewalk outdoors because our community doesn't have a place to meet.
And finally, we head over to New York's Little Manila neighborhood, where the Philam community may soon have their very own center. U.S. Congressmember Grace Meng presented this historic $1.6 million in federal funds to the National Federation of Filipino American Associations, or NAFA, which is earmarked to build a Philam Center in Queens.
It's not just about having a physical space, it's about having a place called home. So many leaders are doing so much for our community, and they don't even have a space to meet. They're meeting in random tables at restaurants, wherever they can find space. There's no consistency, and in order for them to continue to do the great work that they are doing, it is right, morally right, that they have a place that they can congregate.
Philam Stephen Raga, who was just re-elected to New York Assembly District 30, underscores the significance of this gift to the community.
We have been living and working here. As far as I remember, I haven't seen an investment this large or any investments in our Filipino American community. So I thank Congressmember Grace Meng for giving us the respect and the resources we need to have our community thrive.
And those are the news making headlines today. You can catch more TFC News on the ABS-CBN News website and YouTube channel. I'm Henny Espinosa. Back to you guys at the Rundown.
Santa School is in session as 6 Father Christmases begin their training in London. From perfecting their ho-ho-ho to learning all the reindeer games, the Santas are being given all the tools and techniques they need to be as authentic as they can be. Among them, an ironclad rule for a question that should never be asked of children.
And surprisingly, you shouldn't actually ask them what they want for Christmas, because most children have written you a letter. And if you're asking them what they want for Christmas, you're basically saying you haven't read their letter, which is rude. You read the letter and you know. So every child that comes in, I would say, "Ah, how lovely to see you again," always again, because you saw them last year. "How lovely to see you again, and yes, now this year, I think," and then you tell them what they want for Christmas.